So, I'm Scott Podman, Executive Chairman of the IEP, and today we're going to talk about how the resources are, where they are, how you can use them, and how you can get really good value from Renaisi's investment in the IEP. I've got a presentation. Halfway through, we'll go into a live demonstration of the website. They do say you should never work with children, animals and technology. Hopefully this will be stable and good for you, but if there are any challenges, Laura will let me know, I'm sure. Use the chat box, please, to let us know how you're feeling, any particular questions, anything that you want to know. Please do that. We now got 23 people on the call. I think that's quite good, so we'll crack on. So if you just bear with me, I do have to mess about a little bit here with things, but I'm going to come up now with a presentation, and hopefully everybody can see that. Laura, can you see that?
Yeah, got it.
Great, fantastic. Okay, so as I say, this is the Institute for Employability Professionals. Our vision for the Institute does exactly what it says on the tin. It's about supporting those people who support others on the front line predominantly to gain work and to retain work. And all of the things that that means, all of the elements that you do and all of the elements that your partners do, the people you engage with, helping support people to change their lives, helping and supporting people to become more independent, to enable them to do more, and for them to enable themselves to do more. So that's the point. And these are the kinds of organisations we work with. There's a whole raft of organisations on the next slide. Some you'll notice Renaisi's up there as well. But it's really important that we work with foreign governments as a new entity. We work with employment services, governments, think tanks, disability organisations, colleges, universities, the whole gamut, housing association, the whole gambit of organisations. And clearly we work with employability and skills organisations too, because that's where our heartland is. And here's some of those organisations, and you will recognise a number of them, I'm sure. You'll recognise a number of them and think, oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, things like Careers England there are a strategic partner of ours. We help each other get the messages out there, and Careers England have been very, very supportive in developing the employability apprenticeship trailblazer at level 4, which there'll be a bit more information on that later on in the presentation. See some housing associations there and some really well-known employability support and organisations for delivering services to customers. We've also got Peninsula up there, who did a great session in Luton a couple of weeks ago around motivational interviewing, and we're hoping to replicate our learning events, our networking events that we've done in Manchester and Luton very recently in London in September/October time, and Laura's helping us plan that, aren't you, Laura?
Yes.
Super. So how we go about doing that work. So we've got this kind of does what it says on the tin vision. We're all about making sure that services to customers are fabulous and that they are guaranteed, and that the service wherever you go is as good as anywhere else, albeit exceptional within Renaisi. So we make sure we empower individuals, and this is, I suppose today a webinar in a very small way is enabling us to empower you to learn, enabling you to get the information you need and to start being really active through the IEP website and the networks that are there. But we also want to empower you in being proud about what you do. I'm sure you are, but really getting the public and the government to understand what you do effectively and making sure you can practice that in a very professional way. And it's very obvious that it's a professional way, if you see what I mean. We're going to champion employability, and we're already doing this with governments across the world and making sure that people here, particularly in public, so those people that you serve, their families, all of that, really know what it's all about. And that employability is employability with a capital E. It's all over the place. You see employability services now in working in well-being prescribers, so health and well-being prescribers in GP surgeries. You see employability across housing associations, see employability in healthcare and social care settings. Let's face it, to enable somebody to become as independent as possible, there's no better measure of independence as being able to work and support your family or be moving in that direction. It's really, really important. We want to make sure that employers like Renaisi recognise what you're doing every single day as being specialised, unbelievably good, and that it's having that social and economic impact on the communities in which you work. That's really, really important. And then we want to make sure we create a network of opportunity. So everybody gets together, shares what they do, talks about the realities of the services they provide, and gets new ways of doing things, or forms new partnerships or new relationships to get things over the line and to support customers better. We decided 2 years ago to set out a kind of research setting, in essence, around what we said was the future advisor. We knew that things were changing. We knew things were becoming more Renaisi orientated, if I dare say that, in terms of what kinds of things you do with joined up working within communities. The interesting thing is, and by the way, I'm not saying that anyone on the call is not like this already, so it's really important to put that caveat in there. But 2 years ago, we said what we thought the market was going to be like, the sector, and we decided to say what we thought the advisor of the future would be like. The irony is here that a number of organisations, a number of settings have moved away from the term advisor. So actually things are already changing in that kind of setting. But advisor, coach, mentor, support worker, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. So clearly, it has been for a very long time, we've known that advisors need to be highly skilled. They need to be customer focused. They need to be customer focused in the right way. So yes, they need to deliver outcomes. They absolutely need to progress people to a point, it being a recorded outcome, whatever that means within whatever contractual setting or social setting or whatever. But I think we've fundamentally learned as a sector that that's not about volume recruitment. That's not about generically unemployed people, if I can use that term. It's about real specialised delivery. And specialised delivery requires the building of trust, the building of a relationship, the absolute fundamental focus on ethics. All of these things that maybe some providers, some larger providers potentially in the past haven't been as focused on as they should be. We want to, and some of your strategic aims around those strategic delivery within communities really focus on this. And I know I've already spoken to Laura and her team, and some of the conversations that we have around some of the case studies that are shared are phenomenal in terms of what's been achieved. We want to make sure that advisors are resourceful and have the ability to be resourceful and the resources to be resourceful, and that they're integrated and they lead systems within the local in which they work. They're a person that people go to because they're trusted. And they also, throughout that, the only way they're going to be able to do that is be connected genuinely to the population, generally to those people in the market who are helping to support. Now, that was never the case. That was never required outside of Renaisi with large employment support providers who just had someone, and you know, there was nothing wrong in this. It served the purpose at the time, but had people sat at a desk waiting for customers to come to them and supporting them and then sending them away. And not undervaluing that, because that was really important at the time. But the time has changed. We have very little unemployment. The people that are in the unemployment situation are very challenged, have some very, very specific both social and economic challenges. And we want to make sure that everyone gets to the point that they need to get to. So on to the resources then. Are there any chats, Laura, for me, because I can't see them? Has anything come up?
I can't see them.
Okay. Any questions from you? Anything that needs to clarify on that? I know I'm putting you on the spot, I'm sorry.
You go down the bottom. I'm going to chat.
Where's it?
Any questions from you, Laura? Or are you trying to do anything you need clarification on, or should we move on?
No, I think we're ready to move on.
Super. So I'm going to go on to now the resources, the myiep.uk. That should be the web address that's imprinted in your memory forever, I hope. But this is where you can get your stuff from. So this is where the IEP operates. It's all web-based. Aha. I have a chat. Hold on a second. Oh, thank you. Marvelous.
Got it covered.
It does work, which is fantastic. So you can sign in as a member. You manage your profile and your preferences on there. You can print your membership certificate and your card. And there's lots of information around blogs and news and sector knowledge and all that kind of stuff there, which is fantastic. Okay. The knowledge bank on there, which I'll show you in a moment, is a searchable database. We're just building an even more usable system and database there at the moment, which will be released in a couple of weeks. There's 10 things guide there, which help people understand a very specific disability or geographical challenge or challenge within a particular economy. And what that does is give you really simple pointers to helping supporting people when you're practicing your craft with those individuals. And what I'd like to see is Renaisi specialists, because I know you have many of them, creating 10 things guides for the knowledge bank. So there might be something around the English language stuff that you do. There might be stuff around some of the refugee work that you do. Something around, you know, a number of different things, and that would be really useful. A 10 things guide to supporting, you know, whatever that would be. And the more we build these, the more understanding people have. Lots and lots of stuff around on the knowledge bank. There's an induction certificate. There's lots of stuff which I'll go into in a moment. So my CPD, when you log into the website, and you can only get to my CPD by having a login. You can track your own CPD. You can take control of your own learning. You get access to all the learning. You can build your CPD points. You can make sure that yourself and anybody else that works with you is happy on your project. And we also have bursary offers for conferences. And if you're a frontline member of staff, there are 2 reasons why you may not be able to go to a conference for the day. One is you've got a caseload to manage and support, and you know sometimes that's difficult. But also the cost of it is prohibitive, both for employers and for you as an individual employee. You know, if the Interwork Convention, which was called the Employment Skills Convention this year, one day was about £450. That's an awful lot of money. Well, the IEP gets you tickets to go and see and go and be a delegate at a conference like anybody else, but you don't have to pay for it. So it's worth it for the lunch alone anyway, but there's lots and lots of learning at the conferences to see. Okay. We have induction packs. Everyone will have been through an induction in Renaisi, but these are just some elements that you can get through very quickly. It's good learning, and you can achieve your CPD points. Okay. And here's some examples of data protection, lone workers, some stuff around safeguarding. There's stuff around managing extremism. There's stuff around a number of different aspects there, and I'll show you in a moment on the site. And through the site, you can also get access to our interactive jobs board. I would expect there are now 26 people on the call. Every one of those people, and I'm the 27th, are happy with where they are and really happy with their role. But it does give you the opportunity to see what's available. And as importantly, it gives employers the opportunity to advertise to people that already work in the sector, that are specialists, that genuinely understand what they need to do to be able to apply for roles within their organisation. And as a corporate affiliate partner, Laura, just so you know, you get a massive discount in terms of advertising on the jobs board. So, the new website, we're going to go into this now. New, clean design, very modern. The social links I want to go over in a moment. There is going to be a brand new updated knowledge bank layout, and there's a great section around getting involved. So, you know, without further ado, as long as I can do this properly, let's make sure that we can get into this. So if I just go to there again, Laura, yes, it's working, marvelous. Okay, so if I just make this big, then everyone can see the website, yeah? You got that, Laura?
Yep, got it.
Fantastic, okay. So our website, I don't want to make people dizzy, so I'm going to scroll as slowly as possible. Works like any other. But the really important thing here, remember these bullets here, our new knowledge bank section is going to be more like this. There'll be 7 of them: strategy and policy, learning and development, da-da-da. You'll be able to search a lot easier, and it will have this feel. When I show you the knowledge bank in a moment, it looks a bit dated, if I'm honest. Okay. All the way down, I'm going to sign in. So you'll be able to see what happens when you go to sign in. Normally, there's the login box. If I go down to the bottom of the screen, you'll see there's the login box. What the IEP is, I don't want to labour this. There should be loading some latest news and tweets and calendar entries and all that kind of stuff. How you join the IEP, and really importantly, how you get involved. We want to hear from you. We want you to tell us what works. We want you to tell us what's happening in your organisation, in your community. We want you to join networks and build networks, and clearly there's an opportunity here to ask an expert. They're our fellows. They're the individuals that will help solve a problem that you may well have. Okay. Just back up to the top. Oh, and our corporate partners. Oh, there's Renaisi. Look, our corporate partners run along the bottom, and that's not important other than the fact that we wouldn't be able to do the work if it wasn't for these organisations running along the bottom, which is fantastic. Okay. So just really quickly up to the top. Here Under home, that's what we've got at the moment. About IEP gives you all the information you need. I'm not going to open these elements because they're not as important for today, but it tells you what the IEP is about, tells you the makeup of the board. And by the way, as members of the IEP, you can run for election, or more importantly, you can vote for people who are running in the election, and more information will come out about that soon. It tells you a little bit about our teams. Our fellows, so the people that have achieved fellowship of the IEP are there as well. Just a bit more context for you. The next tab along is around membership, how you join, how you pay for, how you apply for fellowship. The next one along is around career progression. So some stuff around the jobs board, CPD, the induction certificate I mentioned earlier, our employment-related services qualifications, lots of different stuff. And as soon as the standards are produced, which I'm going to go on to in a little while, they will also end up there as well as access to that. The knowledge bank I will click through to quickly. And this is where all the, I can't, hang on. Oh, there you go. You have to sign in, people. Before I sign in, the one thing I will say is you will notice here at the top of the banners, there is nothing that says my IEP or my CPD. They only appear when I log in. I'm just logging in now. Fingers crossed it works. Okay. So you can see I'm into the knowledge bank now, and it is a bit old-fashioned in where it is. You can search here for anything, or you can scroll and find it, and there's lots and lots and lots and lots of it, okay? Which will make everybody dizzy on the call, I know, I'm sorry. But find it, and as I say, it will then have all those buttons that will make it a great deal easier to find. You can see also here that my profile bit, my sign-in bit has changed. There's now a feed where I can manage my profile and stuff, and I'll come on to that in a moment. Lastly, you can now see the change here. So as a login member, you've got access to my CPD and my IEP, okay? Under my CPD, you can do the induction pack, and I'll just show you an example of that in a moment. You can take an exam, you can track your certificates and your own point scoring CPD, and you can print your annual CPD certificate. All in all, we should say that leaders in the business, in any business, should practice what they preach. Unfortunately, my CPD is not up to date. There is some stuff in there, and I will be spending some of the summer making sure that it is up to date so I can be a good example to everybody about how to do it. If I just show you the induction pack, we'll take the one around safeguarding, I think. I'm just going to load that up. And bear with me a second. There we go. I'm just moving me and Laura around the screen quite often here now. That's it. So you can see, here's the content of learning. Just bear with me a second. It's a bit stuck. Sorry, there you go. All the way down. That's a printable PDF. You can print it off and you can do all the things you need. There's also a PowerPoint presentation there for training in. Really good. Once you've done the learning and you feel confident about doing the test, you click on the click here for the examination. You can begin the test. I'm not going to do it in case I get any of the answers wrong live on the system. That would be really embarrassing. But you can then begin your test. Okay? You complete your quiz, and then you can print your certificate to say you understand that. Okay, which is really good. And there's lots of stuff under that induction pack to do that. Under the knowledge bank, there's also our 10 things guide, which I find absolutely fascinating. So I'm going to click on something to do with, let's say, dyslexia and dyspraxia. Okay. When I do this, one on stammering here, and point 4 of the stammering one is not complete sentences for the people you're with, which in a caring, sharing profession where we want to help people as much as possible, is quite difficult not to do. And it's an obvious thing when you think about it, but it does make a huge difference in terms of building that relationship if you take that level of control with somebody. And clearly, as I say that, everyone will be nodding and going, well, that's, you know, it's obvious. But it's not always obvious unless somebody puts it down on paper. All our 10 things guides, that they would be with Renaisi, are sponsored and supported by a particular organisation that has a specialism in that area. They always start with an explanation about what it's about and some key facts. As you see there. And then a really simple 10 things guide, 10 top tips for what you should do. Okay? Now, it's not going to make you a specialist in dyslexia and dyspraxia overnight, but it will give you some information which will enable you to be engaged in an even better way with an individual that presents with that challenge and that support need. Okay. There's policy and comment there. There's stuff around employability people, lots of people who are in the same place that you're in, and you can read their stories and they're absolutely fascinating. Okay. News and events is obvious. News desk, the events calendar, some of the blogs and stuff like that. I'm not going to show you because you can spend some time having a look. Okay. So I'm now going to go into
Scott, we've got a question around CPD.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to have a look. Yeah, I can't get it. Can you read it out for me?
Yeah. Michael Toyer, is there a guide to help members complete their first CPD, i.e. the amount and type of learning to put in it for the year?
Yeah, there is, and I'll come on to that in a moment, really timely actually, because that's the next bit.
There we go.
All of the aspect you can get up in CPD here, you can get through the My Profile links as well. So there's various links into what. So if I just show you Track My CPD. Fingers crossed it's going to open. There we go. So you can see what I've done. A number of elements have popped up there, and as I say, I need to update that massively. Okay. If I go down to here, I can go into My Profile, and you can see here I can change my profile. So I can go into about, I'm not going to do it because it gives my home address and everything and my telephone number and how old I am, which is even worse than any of that. But you can go in about and it's very easily changed. And you can see there are red elements next to the bits that are not shared with anybody else. So you can be absolutely happy that your data is safe. Go back to the CPD question. Bear with me just a second. Going to the annual CPD certificate, here you go. So here's a really good example, and we're going to add to this. So webinars may well be 10 points as well, or 5 points, we're not sure yet. For the time being, 5-point model. There's some good ways of tracking CPD. The points for induction and 10 Things Guide and other learning that is provided on there are automatically calculated for you. There has to be a bit of honesty here. We want to, it's recorded in what it is and what the points are, so you need to be really honest here. And you can track your certificate here, your annual CPD certificate, by clicking on the link here. Okay. And there's all the modules you can see that are currently on the Knowledge Bank. There's loads more things that you can do, and you can add things. It's really easy to add things onto your CPD. So you can do it here. Yeah, so you would put certificate section, credit type, whatever it is. It's just adding in exactly what you've done, and then you can. Sorry, I apologise. That's searching. You can add an entry by putting the add entry here, and you would add an entry, and you would put in what the program was. Very, very much the same. What the credit type was. Bit of a description, how many credits it's worth, and if applicable, the score. And you would then, if there's any attachments, you could upload the file to support the credit you're putting in there. And every year you can look at your annual CPD certificate, and you can print out your certificate by going back into the certifications page. Apologies for that. And you will print your certificate by clicking on your annual CPD. Sorry, I'm going around the houses a little bit here, aren't I? One of the challenges of being the exec chairman of the IEP is that I probably use the website slightly less than others. So in time, when you guys are really good at this, you can come on and do this as well. I'll come back to the annual CPD certificate because it is very, very easy to print. And I showed it yesterday on a call with India staff, and I've kind of lost the plot as to where it is. So, here we are. Hang on. Keeps bringing me back to that link. So I do apologise. I'll have to talk to Laura and let Laura show you how to do it. But it is there. I promise you. Let's go. It's a good job nobody's recording this, isn't it? Yeah, I promise you, I can't. You can print your certificate. I promise you, it is there. It really.
I believe you, Scott.
Okay, and under my IEP, you can get your membership certificate. So I've just clicked on that. That should load up in just a second. So I can view it there. You can see there, and you can print it. Okay. I'm very proud to be a fellow of the IEP. It's a fantastic thing. The IEP itself, definitely. And you can also print your membership card under your My IEP, but also under your profile stuff here, which is fantastic. Okay. And there's lots of stuff around membership info and stuff like that here. Here we are. View, print my membership card. There you go. That's me. I exist. Thank you very much. And I can print that off, as you can see, by using the buttons there. Okay, the next thing I want to show you with the website, so that's learning how you record your CPD, although I appreciate my demonstration was slightly clunky there, and how you print your membership certificate, how you would pay your membership, and how you get hold of your membership card, okay? The really great thing is if you do get to a position where you are paying your own membership, you can get tax relief on it. So it's all tax exempt, which is a really good thing because the government and the taxman likes people to be involved in professional stuff, which is really good. Okay. The next thing that I want to show you is the brand new kind of social link feed stuff, which works like LinkedIn. So I'm just going to click on my feed. Take a drink of water while that turns up. And you can see this is where we interact. As a movement, as a community, this is where we interact. Lots and lots of people are gaining access to this. All you need to do is to go up and create some connections, maybe create a group. You will only see postings from people that you're connected in. So get busy with getting people connected. All you lovely 27 people on this call can all be a group and a connection group, and start posting stuff, start talking about stuff, start sharing stuff. Even if it's silly photos from a conference with the guys from ICONI, which I'll show you in a moment. There you go. But it's nice. I wanted to test whether I could upload a photo to it, like you can on LinkedIn, and it's very, very simple. It works in almost exactly the same way. So you share stuff, all the activity that you're doing, and use that as a really, really good mechanism to get engaged and involved with people. And the really, really exciting thing about that, so I'm looking at my phone, is on my phone here, and I can't, I can see there the picture there, you can see that. So hopefully there you can see me as well, yeah? Laura, can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. On the phone, I have an app that's downloaded from Apple or Android called Social Link. That name again, Social Link, SL. You load that up, you log in like you do on the website, and there's my feed. So exactly the same. And I'll show you the photo again. So you can do this. Oh, it's not loading enough. Go on. You can do this on the move. You can do this while you're making coffee. You can do this while you're at home, while you've got 5 minutes, or Coronation Street comes to an end, or whatever. And there's that same photo that we had on the presentation there on my phone. You can also gain access to the IEP website and all the Knowledge Bank activity, but that's not on an app. But what I suggest you do on Apple, you can certainly do this because I've done this with a number of other things, is you can log into the website through Safari, and then you can save that that web link address as an icon on your screen. So you can then constantly get, you in essence, fake an app, but it's really good. Your login is stored. And so you'll go in and out and get your learning and everything. All of it is accessible on the move. I was with a delegation from Saudi Arabia on Wednesday, a very senior delegation, and they're really interested in the app-based process because they have a very, very young population. By the way, I'm 46. I'm not saying that older people can't use apps or smartphones or anything. But what I'm saying is that it is how the world is changing, and for me, it's really exciting. So there's a social link out. It's free to download. You log in with the same login details that you did on the website, and you've got access to everything you need there, which is fantastic. And you can start to do some really good networking. Okay. On my profile, I can change stuff. You can see my feed, and that's everything to do with the social link app and the social link elements. The last thing I will show you really quickly is in essence, the back end of all of this. So this is the jobs board element. So click on jobs board at the top, or in your profile, or through the knowledge bank, or through my CPD. And you can see it comes up here. Searchable jobs, really easy, the locations and everything. And you can click on find a job to find what you're doing. Some featured jobs there, lots and lots of jobs available. This is a growing and evolving sector. This is really exciting at the moment. And for an employer, you can post a job under there. Job seekers can actually manage your CV on there. You can job search, you can check your account. Employers can post a job, look at what's happening, the candidates they're engaging with and stuff. Or employers can just post a job by clicking on that big thing there. And as an employer, you would decide which element you want. And you can see there is a heavy discount as a corporate affiliate price. Now, nobody but Laura is going to be interested in that necessarily, but I just wanted to show how the two elements of that. Everything you do, everywhere you go, if you click on the IEP logo, it will bring you back to the home page, okay? Right, Laura, before I move on, is there anything in that isn't clear or needs a little bit more going through, do you think?
No, I think the key things for me was the CPD, which you've gone through, and the knowledge bank. And with the knowledge bank, Scott, is that kind of something that's just going to continue to evolve and you'll get more documents on there?
It will be, yes. I mean, I think it started off with about 10 documents. It's got over 200, nearly 250 documents on there now. And yes, every time we publish something, every time we gain something from a partner, every time we do a piece of research, everything goes on there. And yeah, I mean, you know, who knows in terms of number, but probably 500 pieces by the end of the year. And it will continue to grow. And as I say, I want your staff members, the people that are working within Renaisi, to share great things. It may be the smallest piece of information. One of the things we struggle with as professional practitioners is understanding that what we do, which is second nature to us, is actually incredibly valuable and really important and is a specialist skill. We always devalue what we know because we just think we do it. And best practice and what works only comes from the people that are actually doing this. Give me a case study. Tell me how you worked with an individual that was really struggling within a particular setting or with a particular problem. Share that with the wider world. It does no harm to you and your credibility as a professional. It does no harm to your organisation. And it certainly does no harm to the sector as a whole because other people will learn from that. This is about everybody learning from each other. That's the most important. It is a movement rather than anything else, and that's the thing that I wanted to get across today. All right, Laura?
Yeah, great.
Okay, super. That's a bit of feedback. That's great. So I'm going to leave the website now. I'm going to come back to the presentation. And if you just bear with me, I've got some more messages. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Aisha, saying that's really good. Maria can't see the presentation, so I will get the slide deck over to you, so you can see that, and we may well do this again. It's not free to post jobs. It's not, no, but it's heavily discounted. Thank you for those comments. Okay. I'm going to now move on to the second part of the presentation. It's me back again until I do that. And hopefully what I've done is shared with you what the IEP is about and what it wants to achieve, giving you access into understanding how you support the services that you need. And then now I'm going to go on to say what we think the future is like. So how you're going to get the real learning and development that you need, that you want for those people that do. thanks, Gerard. I think it is Gerard. The app is available on Android. I've not downloaded it. I'm a bit of an Apple fanatic, but I know it's available on Android. You will be able to find it there. Okay. So thank you very much for your question. Great question. So I'm just going to go into the final part of the presentation, which is about what we think the future is. And the future for us is the thing that we've been building for the last 18 months. And that's, I'll come back to employability professional actually. So that's an employability apprenticeship trailblazer, level 4, and it's called employability practitioner. The really exciting things about this is that it's finally, employability practice is recognised as a standalone specialist occupation by the government. This is through the Institute for Apprenticeships. The government recognised it being a standalone occupation, which means we can deliver a capability learning programme over 2 years to everybody that works in the sector. And the really great thing for employers out there is it's levy funded. So levy funded organisations would be able to do this and draw down levy funding to be able to provide for this. We're looking at around about £6,000 to £7,000 per candidate at the moment, so it's substantial. The employer group that developed this was over 50 strong, so lots and lots of different organisations. And the standards were introduced from a commercial point of view around the levy, but also the fact that we wanted to prove that people were professional at all times within the sector. The IEP was engaged because it has access to these very large networks around, that I mentioned earlier, the corporate affiliate partners and the strategic partners that we work with every single day. We did decide, we started off with a level 3 and a level 4, and we over the period of time, we decided just to develop the level 4. That does a number of things. One is it's better funded. 2 is it will not be diluted by a level 3, so people will be able to access the level 4 immediately. And it raises the bar within the public's view of what we're doing as a sector. And it also enables people to learn even more and to be practicing at a higher level standard. There are 3 elements to this: fail, pass, and distinction. As you start with this, you know, most of the people on the call today won't be in this situation because a number of you are already members. But if you were starting afresh, you would get student membership at IEP, which is the associate membership to start with. Once you qualify, you would be made a member of the IEP. And if you qualify with distinction, we would actually actively coach and encourage you to apply for fellowship. Sorry, I've got itchy nose, I don't know why. To apply for fellowship. And it's delivered within 24 months. You can achieve it within 13 months, but it's up to 24 months to be achieved. Okay. I don't really want to go through a number of things, but we were very, very keen and committed to doing monthly meetings, getting government engaged really quickly, and making sure that we had people who were just being genuinely honest around the table about how to develop this. The most important thing is that, sorry, I'm rushing through this, is that it will be proposed to the ROOT panel on the 15th of August, so very soon. It's in play to do that. And as long as they agree that everything we have in place is effective, we have organisations that can deliver this, we have organisations that can assess this, and we are ready to go. And we have a body of people that are interested. So we're looking to it likely being ready by October of this year, which means not only can we get people up and running with the learning, we can also enable people to use their levy from this year to train and develop people. Now, it will be a commercial and an organisation by organisation decision. So all I'm saying is this is going to be available. We will be the EQAO, which is the External Quality Assurance Organisation, so we will hold the standard. So your professional institute will hold the standard. And the great thing about this, finally, is that membership runs in line with learning, rather than membership being something that is slightly forced or not quite as well as assessed as it has been in the past. And so we're really, really excited about the opportunities for that. The very last thing I wanted to talk, so that's the future. That's the professional capability standard. It will be available. It's there. That's what people are going to measure. There is no doubt. For those people who've already done IEG level 4 or beyond, or those people who've done employability practice or whatever, that is taken into account within the capability within the apprenticeship. So don't worry. Your qualification, your standard of learning is going to be valued. There's no doubt about that. It's not saying that. but what I'm saying is this will become the industry standard over the next few years, which is fantastic. You should all have been receiving, and the last thing I want to say is you should have all been receiving our Employability Professional newsletter every week. I hope people like it. I'd be really, really happy to receive feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. I know you won't read it all at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning when it comes in, but we try our best to get some really good content out there and really some interesting articles for you to read. Lots of things go into that. And if I click through here, this is the kind of thing that you will recognize. These are some old versions actually, but you know, now it's very, very colorful and lots of stuff going into it, okay? So that's really everything from me. I want to just go back to me on the big screen. Hi, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope it gives you... Oh, I'll come to your mention in a minute, Mark. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. It's given you a bit more of an insight into how to get access to things and in essence why you're doing it in the first place. We're not saying this is a magic bullet. We're not saying it's perfection in any way, shape or form. We're only 6 years old as an institute, but we're trying and we're learning and we're working really hard and we're practicing what we preach in terms of learning all the time. As you work with us, as you're supported with us, we will all get better together, there's no doubt. And that's really important, that the learning is continuous and we all work together to do that. So after the app in Android question, I'm really pleased, by the way, Laura, about all the chats and the questions that are coming out, because this is the most we've ever had, which is fabulous. So thank you very much. Mark, I can't see your surname, Mark, said, is the reason why I get the IEP emails twice, e.g. That will be, Mark, because you have both your organisation, your Renaisi email on your profile and also your personal email. And I have never... Sorry, Laura, are you all right? I have no way of.
Yeah, we've lost you there.
All right, sorry. Did you get the reason why you've got the two emails?
No, you're gonna have to repeat it, I think, Scott.
Okay, no problem. So the question was: is the reason why I get the IEP emails twice, i.e., the newsletter? That's because you've got one. Your login contains both your corporate email, your Renaisi email, and also your personal email. We do encourage people to put their personal emails in to the system because we want to be able to converse with you, even if you move organizations. So that's the reason why. There is no way of stopping that at the moment. I know it's a bit frustrating, but what I suggest you do is just delete it when it comes in, Mark, and anybody else that gets that situation. Is that all right, Laura?
Yeah, great.
All right.
Thanks, Scott.
I'm sorry about that. I know it's frustration. I get it 4 times because I've stupidly put 4 emails in my profile. But anyway, you know, it's not good enough once you get it twice. Why not? Maybe you'll read it the second time.
In case you missed it the first time.
But that's a really, really good. Oh, and Chenamulu says you get it twice in your work mail. Well, that's really interesting. So maybe any of those instances where it's a bit quirky and a bit strange, feed them back to Aisha and we'll be able to pick that up through the membership stuff and make sure that that doesn't, if it's within our power, make sure it doesn't happen, yeah?
Great. Thanks, Scott.
Any more questions from anyone? Because I'm going to end the recording very soon. Anybody else? No. Okay. Well, look, it's been a real pleasure doing that with you today. Thank you very much to everybody for participating. We had 30 in the end, Laura, which I think is a fantastic turnout. And hopefully that's really, really helped people. And I'm ever available. So if you need anything, come and ask us. That's what we're there for. We're all about talking. We're all about sharing. And we're all about supporting. All right? Thank you very much.